UFC 196 6 The Devil's Curse. First, Cain Velasquez making excuses, pulling out due to injury. Now, fuck it. Fabricio Werdum says, fuck it, I'm pulling out due to injury. It is GOAT, the Don Juan Banks. This is the breaking news. And we have live from South Korea, Tommy Razorstein. And you can see it right now. Heavyweight champ Fabricio Werdum withdraws from UFC 196. Brett
Who wants
Okamoto
Cain?
from ESPN. In a span of less than 24 hours, Razorstein and the fans of Enter the Arena, the UFC has lost both sides of its scheduled main event for UFC 196 next month in Las Vegas. Defending heavyweight champion Fabricio Werdum told MMAfighting.com on Monday he has withdrawn from the pay-per-view event on February the 6th due to foot and back injuries. His original opponent, former champion Cain Velasquez, pulled out the bout on Sunday, also citing a back injury. The UFC quickly announced Stipe Miocic would replace Velasquez on the card, but apparently Werdum wasn't willing to fight through the injuries for any other opponent than Cardio Cain. I was already injured, Werdum told MMAfighting.com. I have a foot injury and haven't been able to throw kicks. 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 Kicks are for kids. In training for 2 weeks, you remember what Chelsea about to say about kicks? I would still fight Cain because I was injured the last time, but I also hurt my back last Friday. I went to the doctor, tried to continue training, but couldn't spar as I should spar. I did not fight because I'm not 100%. If Cain was the opponent, I would go on. It's not his fault. It's nobody's fault. Injuries happen. You can't avoid them. I have no option. I made this decision because I'm not feeling 100%. He's even making mockery out of what Cain says. Sarcasm. The UFC did not respond immediately to a request for comment. That means Dana is pissed off, Tommy. Werdum, 25-1, said he would be able to fight Miocic or Velasquez, and guess what? 2 to 3 months. A non-title welterweight fight between, oh my God, Razorstein, Johnny Hendricks, 17-3, and Stephen Thompson, 11-1, is currently booked as the co-main event of UFC 196, which is scheduled to take place at the MGM Grand. Razorstein, you sent me this story. You said before you go to bed tonight, you have an obligation to the fans on not only Razorstein Live, but here at Into the Arena. Vice President, the best MMA analyst on YouTube today, Tommy Razorstein.
What's up, Don? How you doing?
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked too. It seems like Werdum wants Cain and is like, you know what? I'm not going to fight anyone else. I've decided to fight you and only you. Stipe is at the top of the hill and has no one to fight, but doesn't get the belt. It's kind of odd. So, what will happen? Could they crown an interim? There's nobody there. Complete vacant. Cain's not fighting. Werdum's not fighting. Stipe wants to fight. There's no one to fight. It's kind of odd. I've never seen this.
666, the Devil's Curse. Listen, Razorstein, you said before. You look, I'm GOAT, greatest of all time, but the best MMA analyst is Tommy Razorstein, and he said yesterday, Razorstein, you said yesterday Cain shouldn't have pulled out of the fight. You said it was disastrous. You said it was one of the biggest disappointments in MMA. And you said the real reason, which they won't say on ESPN, they won't say on Fox, they won't say on UFC Tonight, was that Cain Velasquez wasn't a good matchup and he couldn't win. So he said, you know what? I'm pulling out of this fight. And then I didn't even know this game plan, Tommy. This is a whole new game plan. Werdum says, fuck it. I'm not fighting either. I'll fight you when you come back. So Cain cannot escape. And I know you're happy because you hate Cain.
I know, it's crazy. It just didn't make sense to me when it happened at first, too. I'm like, what? He's not hurt. He's bullshitting. And then I think Fabricio Werdum was like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. I'm calling out, too. Because he knew it. You know, Fox won't say that shit. Dana White won't come up and say that stuff. But that's why we're here, Don.
It's
We
like
say the shit that we're allowed to say because you know what? We don't have those ties. Like, you know, we're not Fox. We won't lose. You know, a channel. We can say whatever the fuck we want. That's what's great.
Tommy, it's like when we were at Woods and you know this big snowstorm hits and it's like, you know, you're gonna have to, you know, stay at work or whatever because the person says, fuck it, I'm not coming in because it's snowing. And it's just like you say, fuck it, I'm not coming in either. And and Verdun just he makes a mockery out of it. You heard what I read. He says, I'm not 100% either. I had a foot injury. I have a back injury. So you know what? What it tells us, Razorstein, is that these injuries, like Sonnen was saying, was always used as an excuse or crutch to when you just don't want to fight. Remember when Chael Sonnen said that the Nogueira brothers would pull out months in advance because of injuries?
Months in advance. It's like planning for a wedding a month in advance.
It's got to be the funniest video we've ever done.
It is funny. I mean, it's the next day, Don. Don, the next day. It was like, dude, this is bullshit. He's not hurt. And then Fabricio Werdum was like, what? This is fucking bullshit. He's not hurt.
Oh my God.
And if Stipe's like, all right, I got a title shot. What? Fuck. What? Stipe gets screwed. Give the belt to Stipe.
I was thinking an interim championship, but you know, I think it's a situation where you probably won't be able to do that because Fabricio is even saying that in 2 months I can fight again, and that should be the exact same time where Cain would be coming back in here. You might as well push the fight.
Well, how long will it take for the Cain heal up? 2 months. I'll be back in 2 months.
It sounds like one of your plans, actually. See, that's why you wanted to talk about the Cain situation so badly yesterday, Tommy, because of something like this developing.
It's ridiculous.
You thought it was absolutely. You said it in the video. If we could go to the video now, you said it was one of the biggest disappointments you've ever seen with Cain pulling out of that fight.
I know. I was like, this doesn't make sense because it doesn't match up with him stylistically. So he doesn't like this at all.
Do you think
Fabricio's going to chase Cain? Dude, I've never heard of anyone doing this.
This is crazy.
I've never heard of a person doing this ever. Where they're like, I want to fight Cain. Okay, if he pulls out, I'm pulling out too.
That's what Chuck should have did. Chuck should have pulled out when Tito pulled out.
That's ridiculous.
Never got knocked out by Rich Franklin.
I would love to talk to Dana White right now. Dana, what happened? And have Dana just try to explain some horse shit. When deep down inside, he knows exactly what he wants to say. He's saying the same shit that I'm saying, but he's not allowed to. And Fox is just, they just have to lie about everything.
Well, Razor, I want to say this. So Dana would just say we got two guys that don't want to fight, but really it comes down to Cain. Cain is the culprit because Fabricio even says that if Cain didn't pull out, he wouldn't have pulled out because fighters always fight injured. I wanted to say this. UFC did not respond immediately. Basically, they had to get Dana on the phone and say, Dana, please don't do what you want to do. Basically curse. So since Razor Stein, can you act like Dana right now? What would you say?
I don't know. I'd have to plan. I would have to plan. You'd have to give me a 10-minute response on how I would act like Dana White. Oh man, he's pissed. He's fucking pissed. I know that. He's not allowed to say what we're saying. We're joking around and being like, ha ha ha, we see what's going on. Isn't this funny? He's not allowed to laugh about this shit. He has to be 100% serious, and he's fucking mad about this shit. I've never seen someone decide to chase another person this way. Like, okay, I'll just call out too. Don, have you ever seen this before?
In the history of the UFC, I have never in my life witnessed this or seen this before. This is historic.
Yeah, I remember what I was saying. You know what? As a coach, Fabricio Werdum game planning for Fabricio Werdum to fight Cain. If you're Cain's coach, it's a goddamn nightmare, and you have to think about what you'd have to do. And it would be better for him to fight Stipe. So hopefully Stipe wins. This is what they decided to do. They took that return and served it back. Ha ha! Fuck you.
And you
I'm
love it.
calling out too.
I love it too.
It's ridiculous.
2 no-shows. But I blame it on
This
Cain.
is the heavyweight division now. Remember, this is the heavyweight division.
Rampage
Where
just supposed to fight Miocic,
that would be awesome.
but
That's what
Rampage
should happen.
in a contract dispute, and plus he doesn't fight at heavyweight. But you did insinuate that he should do that because the fans might not know what we're talking about. Razor Stein did insinuate that Quentin Rampage Jackson should move up to heavyweight because he's always a heavyweight because of his weight, but he never fought officially at heavy. Actually, he did. He actually did because the technicality of weight classes is if you don't meet the weight limit of the weight class, which is the 205 pound, that you are fighting a heavyweight. Even if it was 206 pounds, that's heavyweight because the limit is 205.
That's a good point. He showed up at 212.
Yeah, for Maldonado. Look, Razor Stone, we got a minute left. UFC 196 card. Actually, Luke Rockhold has spoke out and said that, come on, guys, I want to fight at UFC 200. Everyone's looking at UFC 200. Do you just push this back to UFC 200?
I guess so. That would be yeah. As long as Cain doesn't call out again.
Oh, he can't, not at UFC 200. I mean, if he pulled out again, I think Cardio Cain would be that would be it. He says he's the devil.
How long can Cardio Cain run?
Well, Cardio Cain doesn't run. I mean, maybe if he had
but that's the cardio. How long can Cardio Cain run?
I get what you're saying, but if I was a coach, I would instruct Cardio Kane to use movement against Fabricio Verdum. He has the cardio, but he definitely only knows that he's a one-trick pony, like you said. It come forward, push you against the cage, and is wrestling. It's not about every. You remember they were saying he was a great striker. I don't think he's a great striker. I just think it's just grinding you out and coming forward like that. Because when they were striking on the feet, why did he continue to come in that straight line right into Fabricio's right hand, which snapped his head all the way back, which probably he may have been concussed.
I think Cardio Kane can run until UFC 300.
Cardio Kane is one of the guys, and we're gonna keep on going here. We don't have any time left, but Cardio Kane is a guy that um is not a company guy, like Jose Aldo is not a company guy. The guys, they just don't care. They don't care about the glamour, they don't care about the show, they don't care about the press conference, they don't care about any of that. Kane doesn't care. He would call out again at UFC 200. I mean, he's not a dependable individual, and Fabricio Verdum definitely wants him in this fight. I guess, do you just lock these two in a basement and get it on there?
Yeah, if you could. In theory, yeah, it sounds wonderful. Lock him in the basement.
You might have to put a clause in. I think it's Cain. I'm not going to blame this on Verdum. I think Verdum did the smart thing, Tommy. I'm going to give you the last minute.
I think that Kane will just keep running. He's terrified. And
Wow.
he's not going to show up and fight unless he can find some kind of loophole. And right now, the his coaches are confused. What a confusing move they are in right now.
Enter the arena. Thank you so much, Razor Stein. I know he's live in South Korea, the best MMA analyst on YouTube today. Wanted to talk about this situation and got us on here with this breaking news for the Don Juan Banks GOAT. Peace out.
Peace.